Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara, summarized by detailed book summaries. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you did, welcome to our book family. Chapter 1, Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara, written with Seth Godin, begins by introducing a powerful idea that transforms how people think about service, leadership, and human connection. The book explains that success is not only about delivering a product or completing a task correctly. True excellence comes from creating memorable experiences that exceed expectations. Will Guidara shares lessons from his journey in the hospitality industry, especially his leadership role at the world-renowned Restaurant 11 Madison Park, where he learned that small, thoughtful actions can create extraordinary impact. The central theme of the opening chapter is that hospitality is not limited to restaurants or hotels. It is a mindset that can be applied in any profession, including business, education, technology, and everyday relationships. The chapter begins by distinguishing between service and hospitality. Service refers to the technical delivery of a task, such as providing food, completing an assignment, or solving a problem. Hospitality, however, focuses on how people feel during the experience. A person can receive efficient service, but still feel unimportant or disconnected. Hospitality seeks to create emotional connection by making individuals feel valued and appreciated. Will Guidara explains that people remember how they felt long after they forget specific details of a transaction. Because of this, emotional impact often matters more than technical perfection. Guidara describes how he developed a passion for creating experiences that surprise and delight others. Early in his career, he realized that businesses often focus heavily on efficiency and productivity, but sometimes neglect the human aspect of interaction. He observed that the most successful organizations were those that intentionally created positive emotional experiences. Customers returned not only because of quality products, but because they felt welcomed and respected. A key idea presented in this chapter is that excellence requires intentional effort. Memorable experiences rarely happen by accident. They are usually the result of careful planning, observation, and creativity. Will Guidara explains that hospitality involves paying attention to details that others may overlook. Small gestures, such as remembering someone's preferences or offering unexpected kindness, can make a significant difference. These thoughtful actions communicate that people matter. The chapter also explores the importance of generosity. Generosity in hospitality does not always require large financial investment. Often, the most meaningful gestures involve time, creativity, and genuine care. Will Guidara emphasizes that generosity builds trust and strengthens relationships. When individuals feel appreciated, they are more likely to develop loyalty and share positive experiences with others. Another important lesson introduced in this chapter is that hospitality begins with leadership. Leaders set the tone for how organizations treat customers and employees. When leaders demonstrate respect and empathy, these values become part of the culture. A positive culture encourages individuals to treat others with kindness and professionalism. Leadership is not only about directing tasks, but about inspiring people to care deeply about the experiences they create. Guidara explains that creating extraordinary experiences requires a shift in mindset. Instead of asking what is required, individuals should ask what is possible. This shift encourages creativity and innovation. When people feel empowered to think beyond minimum expectations, they often discover unique ways to improve experiences. Innovation in hospitality often comes from observing needs that others have not yet recognized. The chapter also highlights the importance of listening carefully. Listening helps identify opportunities to create meaningful experiences. When individuals share their preferences or challenges, attentive listeners can respond thoughtfully. Understanding needs allows service providers to personalize interactions. Personalization demonstrates genuine interest and strengthens connection. Will Guidara shares stories from his professional journey that illustrate how small actions can create lasting impressions. In one example, he describes how noticing a guest's casual remark led to a memorable experience that exceeded expectations. These moments show that attentiveness allows individuals to transform ordinary situations into extraordinary ones. Another key concept discussed in this chapter is that hospitality involves anticipating needs before they are expressed. Anticipation requires observation and empathy. By considering what someone might need in advance, individuals can create smoother and more enjoyable experiences. Anticipation demonstrates care and professionalism. The chapter also explains that creating memorable experiences requires teamwork. Hospitality is rarely the result of one individual's effort. Successful teams communicate effectively and support each other in delivering exceptional service. Collaboration allows teams to combine skills and ideas to produce better results. Guidara emphasizes that hospitality benefits both the giver and the receiver. Providing thoughtful experiences often creates a sense of purpose and satisfaction. When individuals see the positive impact of their efforts, they feel motivated to continue improving. This cycle of positive reinforcement encourages consistent excellence. The chapter also explores how hospitality can differentiate organizations in competitive environments. Many businesses offer similar products or services, but few invest deeply in emotional connection. Organizations that prioritize hospitality create strong relationships that encourage loyalty. Customers are more likely to return when they feel valued. Another important lesson introduced is that mistakes are opportunities to demonstrate hospitality. When challenges arise, thoughtful responses can strengthen trust. Addressing problems respectfully and creatively often leaves a stronger impression than if no mistake had occurred. Handling difficulties with care demonstrates commitment to excellence. Guidara explains that hospitality requires humility. Individuals must recognize that they can always improve. Continuous learning allows people to refine their ability to serve others effectively. Humility encourages openness to feedback and willingness to adapt. The chapter also highlights the importance of consistency. Exceptional experiences should not occur occasionally, but regularly. Consistency builds reputation and reliability. When individuals know they can expect positive treatment, trust increases. Will Guidara encourages readers to consider how hospitality can be applied in their own lives. Students, professionals, entrepreneurs, and leaders can all benefit from creating meaningful experiences. Even simple actions such as showing appreciation or offering support can strengthen relationships. Another theme explored in this chapter is that hospitality creates emotional memories. People remember moments when they felt cared for. These memories influence future decisions and attitudes. Emotional experiences often shape loyalty more strongly than practical benefits. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that unreasonable hospitality involves going beyond what is expected. It involves surprising people in positive ways that demonstrate genuine care. This approach transforms ordinary interactions into meaningful experiences. Chapter 1 establishes the foundation for understanding why hospitality matters deeply in both professional and personal contexts. It introduces the idea that extraordinary success often comes from creating emotional connection rather than simply delivering technical results. By embracing generosity, empathy, and creativity, individuals can create experiences that leave lasting impressions. The lessons presented in this chapter prepare the reader to explore practical strategies for applying hospitality principles in real-life situations. The journey begins with recognizing that people value how they are treated just as much as what they receive. When individuals commit to giving more than expected, they create opportunities to inspire trust, loyalty, and meaningful connection. Chapter 2 of Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara, written alongside Seth Godin, explores how a clear vision and strong culture create the foundation for extraordinary hospitality. While the first chapter introduces the idea of exceeding expectations, this chapter explains how organizations and individuals can intentionally design environments where exceptional experiences become consistent rather than accidental. The chapter emphasizes that hospitality is not simply a skill, but a shared belief system that influences behavior, decision-making, and relationships. Will Guidara explains that every successful organization operates according to values, whether those values are clearly defined or not. When values are unclear, people rely on habits or personal assumptions, which can lead to inconsistency. However, when leaders clearly communicate what matters most, individuals can align their actions with shared goals. Creating a culture focused on generosity, empathy, and excellence encourages team members to prioritize meaningful experiences for others. The chapter highlights that leadership plays a critical role in shaping culture. Leaders influence not only what people do, but how they think. When leaders demonstrate commitment to hospitality through their actions, team members feel inspired to do the same. Leadership involves setting expectations, modeling behavior, and encouraging creativity. Employees who feel supported are more likely to contribute ideas that improve customer experiences. Another key insight presented in this chapter is that excellence requires clarity. People perform better when they understand what success looks like. Clearly defined goals allow teams to work toward shared objectives. Will Guidara emphasizes that defining a vision helps individuals focus their energy on meaningful priorities rather than becoming distracted by less important tasks. Vision provides direction and motivates consistent effort. The chapter also explains that hospitality culture encourages individuals to take initiative. When people feel trusted, they are more willing to act creatively to solve problems or improve experiences. Empowerment increases confidence and encourages responsibility. Individuals who feel valued are more likely to go beyond basic requirements because they recognize that their contributions matter. Will Guidara shares examples from his leadership experience, showing how empowering team members produced remarkable results. Encouraging employees to make decisions independently allowed them to respond quickly to opportunities for creating memorable moments. This flexibility made it possible to deliver personalized experiences that exceeded expectations. Empowerment transforms employees from task performers into experience creators. Another theme explored in this chapter is the importance of hearing individuals who share the organization's values. Skills can be taught, but attitude often determines how individuals approach their work. People who genuinely enjoy helping others naturally contribute to positive environments. Selecting team members who value generosity and respect strengthens the overall culture. The chapter also highlights the importance of continuous improvement. Excellence requires ongoing learning and adaptation. Organizations that seek feedback gain valuable insight into how experiences can be improved. Feedback allows leaders to identify strengths and areas for growth. Responding thoughtfully to feedback demonstrates commitment to development. Will Guidara explains that culture influences how individuals respond to challenges. In environments where kindness and cooperation are valued, people support one another during difficult situations. Teamwork becomes stronger when individuals trust each other. Trust encourages open communication and problem-solving. Another important concept discussed in this chapter is that hospitality extends beyond customers to include colleagues. Treating coworkers with respect creates a positive atmosphere that improves collaboration. When individuals feel appreciated within their teams, they are more motivated to contribute their best effort. Positive internal relationships often lead to better external experiences. The chapter also emphasizes that recognition encourages excellence. Acknowledging effort and achievement motivates individuals to continue improving. Recognition demonstrates appreciation and reinforces desired behaviors. When people feel their contributions are valued, they are more likely to remain committed to organizational goals. Will Guidara explains that strong culture creates consistency. Customers and clients appreciate reliability because it builds trust. Consistency does not mean eliminating creativity. Rather, it ensures that core values guide decision-making. Creative solutions can still align with shared principles. Another insight presented in this chapter is that hospitality requires intentional communication. Clear communication prevents misunderstandings and supports cooperation. Teams that communicate effectively can respond quickly to changing needs. Communication strengthens relationships and improves efficiency. The chapter also explores the importance of aligning purpose with action. When individuals understand why their work matters, they feel more connected to their responsibilities. Purpose provides motivation beyond financial rewards. People often perform at higher levels when they recognize the positive impact of their efforts. Will Guidara emphasizes that culture develops gradually through consistent behavior. Repeated actions reinforce shared values. Leaders must remain patient as teams adapt to new expectations. Over time, positive habits become natural and contribute to long-term success. Another important lesson discussed in this chapter is that excellence requires courage. Encouraging creativity sometimes involves risk. Not every attempt to create memorable experiences will succeed. However, willingness to experiment leads to innovation. Organizations that embrace experimentation often discover new ways to improve. The chapter also highlights the importance of accountability. Individuals must take responsibility for maintaining high standards. Accountability ensures that commitments are fulfilled and that trust remains strong. Reliable performance strengthens relationships with customers and colleagues. Will Guidara explains that hospitality culture encourages individuals to think beyond immediate tasks. Considering the broader impact of actions helps identify opportunities for improvement. Strategic thinking supports sustainable success. The chapter concludes by emphasizing that culture is one of the most powerful tools for creating extraordinary experiences. A strong culture encourages generosity, creativity, and cooperation. When individuals share a commitment to excellence, meaningful experiences become consistent rather than occasional. Chapter 2 builds upon the foundation established earlier by demonstrating that hospitality requires intentional design. Vision, leadership, empowerment, and communication all contribute to environments where individuals feel motivated to exceed expectations. By cultivating positive culture, organizations and individuals create opportunities to deliver experiences that inspire loyalty and trust. The lessons presented in this chapter encourage readers to think carefully about the environments they create in their own lives. Whether leading teams, working with classmates, or interacting with customers, individuals can influence culture through their actions. Choosing to prioritize respect and generosity helps create experiences that people remember positively. Chapter 3 of Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara, created with insights supported by Seth Godin, focuses on the importance of creativity in delivering extraordinary experiences. While the previous chapters emphasize mindset and culture, this chapter explains how imagination and thoughtful effort transform ordinary service into unforgettable moments. Will Guidara shows that remarkable hospitality often comes from simple but meaningful acts that demonstrate attentiveness and care. Creativity allows individuals and organizations to go beyond routine interactions and create emotional impact that customers and guests remember long after the experience ends. Guidara explains that many organizations focus heavily on efficiency and consistency, which are important, but may unintentionally limit innovation. When individuals concentrate only on completing tasks quickly, they may overlook opportunities to create memorable experiences. Creativity encourages people to look beyond standard procedures and consider how interactions can become more meaningful. The chapter emphasizes that innovation in hospitality does not require expensive resources. Often, the most powerful gestures involve thoughtful attention to individual needs. A central lesson in this chapter is that meaningful experiences often begin with observation. By paying close attention to small details, individuals can discover opportunities to personalize interactions. For example, noticing a guest's interests or preferences can inspire unique gestures that make the person feel valued. Personalization demonstrates genuine care because it shows that the experience was designed specifically for the individual. Will Guidara highlights the importance of curiosity in fostering creativity. Curious individuals seek to understand others more deeply. They ask questions, listen carefully, and remain open to new ideas. Curiosity helps uncover information that can be used to create memorable moments. When people feel understood, they are more likely to develop positive emotional connections. The chapter also explains that creativity requires confidence. Individuals must believe that their ideas can make a difference. Encouraging team members to share ideas increases the likelihood of discovering innovative solutions. Leaders play an important role in creating environments where creativity is welcomed. When individuals feel safe expressing ideas, they are more willing to experiment. Another important insight presented in this chapter is that creativity thrives in environments that encourage collaboration. Different perspectives often lead to better solutions. Team members who share ideas openly contribute to stronger outcomes. Collaboration allows individuals to combine their strengths and create experiences that would be difficult to achieve alone. Guidara shares examples from his professional journey where creative thinking produced extraordinary results. These stories demonstrate that small gestures can create significant emotional impact. For instance, recognizing a guest's special occasion and responding with thoughtful personalization can transform an ordinary experience into a cherished memory. These moments build loyalty because they show genuine appreciation. The chapter also emphasizes that memorable experiences often involve surprise. Positive surprises create emotional excitement because they exceed expectations. When individuals receive more than they anticipated, they feel valued. Unexpected gestures communicate generosity and strengthen relationships. Surprise does not need to be extravagant. Thoughtful simplicity often creates the strongest impressions. Will Guidara explains that creativity requires willingness to adapt. Every individual has unique preferences, and flexibility allows service providers to respond appropriately. Adapting to different situations demonstrates attentiveness and professionalism. Flexibility also allows individuals to respond effectively to unexpected challenges. Another theme explored in this chapter is the importance of storytelling. Experiences become more memorable when they create stories worth sharing. When individuals share positive experiences with others, organizations benefit from increased trust and reputation. Stories help communicate values and demonstrate commitment to excellence. The chapter highlights that creativity often involves anticipating needs before they are expressed. Anticipation demonstrates empathy because it shows understanding of potential preferences. By thinking ahead, individuals can prevent inconvenience and enhance comfort. Anticipation reflects professionalism and thoughtful preparation. Guidara emphasizes that creativity should align with purpose. Thoughtful gestures should reflect genuine care rather than superficial effort. Authenticity strengthens trust because people recognize sincerity. Meaningful creativity focuses on enhancing experiences rather than seeking attention. Another important lesson presented in this chapter is that creativity requires persistence. Not every idea will succeed immediately. Learning from unsuccessful attempts helps refine future efforts. Persistence encourages continuous improvement and innovation. The chapter also explains that creativity can improve teamwork. When individuals collaborate on developing ideas, they build stronger relationships. Shared problem-solving creates sense of unity and purpose. Teams that work creatively together often develop greater trust and cooperation. Will Guidara highlights that creativity contributes to differentiation. In competitive environments, organizations that provide memorable experiences stand out. Customers often choose businesses that demonstrate thoughtful care. Differentiation strengthens reputation and encourages loyalty. Another insight explored in this chapter is that creativity should be intentional. Planning experiences carefully increases the likelihood of success. Preparation allows individuals to consider details that enhance quality. Intentional design improves consistency and effectiveness. The chapter also emphasizes that creativity enhances emotional connection. Positive emotions influence how people evaluate experiences. When individuals feel appreciated, they develop stronger relationships with organizations and individuals. Emotional connection encourages long-term engagement. Guidara explains that creativity in hospitality extends beyond professional environments. Individuals can apply these principles in personal relationships as well. Thoughtful gestures strengthen friendships, family connections, and community relationships. Creativity helps demonstrate appreciation and kindness. Another key lesson discussed in this chapter is that meaningful experiences often come from understanding what matters most to others. Identifying priorities allows individuals to design interactions that create positive impact. Attention to priorities demonstrates respect and consideration. The chapter concludes by reinforcing the idea that creativity transforms ordinary interactions into extraordinary experiences. By observing carefully, thinking imaginatively, and acting thoughtfully, individuals can create moments that leave lasting impressions. Creativity allows hospitality to become more than routine service. It becomes a meaningful expression of care. Chapter 3 builds upon earlier lessons by showing that mindset and culture provide the foundation, but creativity brings hospitality to life. Through collaboration, curiosity, and intentional effort, individuals and organizations can design experiences that inspire appreciation and loyalty. The lessons presented encourage readers to embrace imagination in their daily interactions. Whether working in business, education, technology, or relationships, thoughtful creativity helps create meaningful connections. When individuals commit to giving more than expected, they transform simple interactions into memorable experiences that reflect genuine care. Chapter 4 of Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara, shaped with ideas supported by Seth Godin, explores the discipline, systems, and intentional structure required to make extraordinary hospitality consistent rather than occasional. While previous chapters emphasize mindset, culture, and creativity, this chapter shows that inspiration alone is not enough. For exceptional experiences to happen repeatedly, organizations and individuals must develop clear processes, habits, and standards that ensure excellence becomes a reliable pattern. Will Guidara explains that many people assume creativity and structure are opposites, but in reality, they complement each other. Structure provides the stability needed for creativity to flourish. Without systems, even the best ideas may fail due to confusion or inconsistency. Systems create clarity about responsibilities, expectations, and goals. When people understand how their efforts contribute to a shared mission, they are more likely to perform confidently and effectively. A central idea in this chapter is that excellence requires discipline. Discipline ensures that high standards are maintained even during busy or challenging periods. In fast-paced environments, individuals may feel pressure to focus only on completing immediate tasks. However, maintaining commitment to quality ensures that experiences remain meaningful. Discipline helps individuals remain focused on long-term reputation rather than short-term convenience. The chapter emphasizes the importance of preparation. Preparation allows teams to anticipate needs and reduce potential problems before they occur. Thoughtful preparation includes training, planning, and communication. When individuals prepare carefully, they are better equipped to respond effectively to unexpected situations. Preparation increases confidence and reduces stress because individuals feel ready to perform at high levels. Will Guidara highlights that systems should support flexibility rather than restrict it. Well-designed systems provide guidance while still allowing individuals to respond creatively to unique situations. Balance between structure and adaptability ensures that experiences remain both consistent and personalized. Organizations that achieve this balance are more likely to deliver memorable interactions. Another important lesson presented in this chapter is the value of attention to detail. Small details often shape overall impressions. Individuals may not consciously notice every detail, but these elements influence emotional responses. Clean environments, organized processes, and thoughtful communication contribute to positive experiences. Attention to detail demonstrates professionalism and care. The chapter also explores the importance of accountability. Individuals must take responsibility for maintaining high standards. Accountability ensures reliability and builds trust. When people know they can depend on consistent performance, confidence increases. Reliable performance strengthens relationships and encourages loyalty. Guidara explains that effective systems include clear communication channels. Communication allows team members to coordinate efforts and share information quickly. When communication flows smoothly, misunderstandings decrease. Clear communication helps ensure that everyone understands expectations and responsibilities. Another insight discussed in this chapter is that strong systems support teamwork. Teams perform better when individuals understand how their roles connect with others. Cooperation becomes easier when responsibilities are clearly defined. Shared understanding encourages collaboration and reduces conflict. The chapter also highlights the importance of feedback. Feedback helps individuals recognize strengths and identify areas for improvement. Constructive feedback encourages growth and development. Organizations that encourage open communication often adapt more effectively to changing circumstances. Will Guidara emphasizes that training plays a significant role in maintaining excellence. Training helps individuals develop confidence and competence. Well-trained individuals perform tasks efficiently while maintaining quality. Training also helps individuals understand organizational values and expectations. Another key idea explored in this chapter is that systems should reflect purpose. Purpose gives meaning to daily tasks. When individuals understand why their work matters, they are more motivated to perform well. Purpose encourages commitment and dedication. The chapter explains that consistency builds reputation. People develop trust when they know what to expect. Reliable experiences encourage long-term relationships. Consistency does not eliminate creativity, but ensures that core values remain constant. Guidara also discusses how strong systems allow organizations to respond effectively to challenges. Unexpected situations require quick decision-making. When systems provide clear guidance, individuals can respond confidently. Prepared teams manage challenges more effectively. Another important lesson presented in this chapter is that excellence requires continuous improvement. Systems should evolve as new ideas and feedback emerge. Organizations that remain open to change improve over time. Adaptation allows individuals to maintain relevance and effectiveness. The chapter highlights that discipline strengthens creativity. When individuals understand expectations clearly, they can focus their energy on innovation. Structure reduces uncertainty and allows individuals to experiment thoughtfully. Will Guidara emphasizes that successful organizations treat systems as tools for empowerment rather than control. Empowerment encourages initiative and responsibility. Individuals who feel trusted often perform more confidently. Trust strengthens teamwork and cooperation. Another insight explored in this chapter is that structure reduces stress. Clear expectations help individuals focus on performing tasks effectively. Reduced uncertainty improves confidence and efficiency. Confidence contributes to better experiences for both providers and recipients. The chapter also explains that attention to process ensures sustainability. Extraordinary experiences should not depend on temporary effort. Sustainable excellence requires reliable habits and consistent standards. Sustainability supports long-term success. Guidara highlights that systems help translate vision into action. Vision provides direction, but systems make implementation possible. Without systems, even strong ideas may remain unrealized. Effective implementation requires organization and planning. Another key lesson discussed in this chapter is that discipline demonstrates respect for others. Maintaining high standards shows commitment to providing positive experiences. Respect encourages trust and strengthens relationships. The chapter concludes by reinforcing the idea that excellence is intentional. Memorable experiences require more than enthusiasm. They require preparation, organization, and commitment. By developing strong systems and maintaining discipline, individuals and organizations create environments where extraordinary hospitality becomes natural. Chapter 4 builds upon previous lessons by showing how creativity and culture can be supported through structure. Vision inspires action, but discipline ensures consistency. When individuals combine thoughtful systems with genuine care, they create reliable experiences that exceed expectations. The lessons presented encourage readers to recognize that success often results from consistent effort over time. By developing habits that support excellence, individuals can create meaningful impact in both professional and personal environments. Structure provides the foundation upon which creativity and generosity can flourish, allowing hospitality to become a lasting practice rather than a temporary effort. Chapter 5 of Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara, influenced by ideas aligned with Seth Godin, brings together the core principles of the book and explains how unreasonable hospitality can transform not only businesses, but also personal lives, careers, leadership styles, and long-term success. This chapter emphasizes that hospitality is more than a professional skill. It is a philosophy that shapes how individuals treat others, approach opportunities, and create lasting impact. By choosing to consistently give more than expected, individuals create environments where trust, loyalty, and meaningful relationships naturally grow. Will Guidara explains that the most successful individuals and organizations often stand out because they focus on how people feel. While many competitors may offer similar products, services, or knowledge, few invest deeply in emotional connection. Emotional connection builds loyalty because people naturally remember experiences where they felt valued and appreciated. When individuals feel respected, they are more likely to return, recommend the experience to others, and maintain long-term relationships. A central idea in this chapter is that unreasonable hospitality creates differentiation. In competitive environments, technical skill alone may not be enough to achieve lasting success. Many organizations provide quality products and efficient service. However, those that create emotional impact often develop stronger reputations. Reputation grows when people share positive experiences. Recommendations from satisfied individuals often influence others more strongly than advertisements. The chapter emphasizes that hospitality creates opportunity. When individuals consistently demonstrate care and professionalism, others notice. Opportunities often arise because people prefer to collaborate with those they trust. Trust encourages partnership, teamwork, and long-term cooperation. Individuals who build trust often gain access to opportunities that may not be available to others. Will Guidara explains that hospitality also strengthens leadership. Leaders who demonstrate genuine care for their teams inspire greater commitment and motivation. Employees who feel respected often perform at higher levels because they feel connected to the organization's mission. Leadership that prioritizes people encourages loyalty and reduces conflict. Positive leadership environments often produce stronger collaboration and innovation. Another important insight presented in this chapter is that hospitality encourages generosity as a habit rather than an occasional act. When generosity becomes part of daily behavior, individuals naturally seek ways to improve experiences for others. Habitual generosity strengthens relationships because it demonstrates consistency. Consistency builds credibility and trust. The chapter also explores the idea that hospitality contributes to personal fulfillment. Helping others feel valued often creates a sense of purpose. Many individuals find satisfaction in knowing that their actions have positive impact. Purpose motivates continued effort and encourages growth. Meaningful work often leads to long-term happiness. Guidara highlights that unreasonable hospitality requires courage. Giving more than expected sometimes involves taking risks. Efforts to create memorable experiences may require additional time, energy, or creativity. However, these efforts often produce meaningful rewards. Courage encourages individuals to move beyond comfort zones in pursuit of excellence. Another key lesson explored in this chapter is that hospitality can be applied in any field. Teachers, business professionals, IT specialists, healthcare workers, entrepreneurs, and students can all benefit from prioritizing human connection. Even in technical professions, communication and empathy influence success. People appreciate working with individuals who demonstrate understanding and respect. The chapter emphasizes that small actions can create significant impact. Thoughtful gestures often require little effort but produce meaningful results. Remembering names, offering encouragement, or expressing appreciation strengthens relationships. These actions demonstrate attentiveness and care. Will Guidara explains that hospitality encourages long-term thinking. Focusing only on immediate gain may produce short-term success but weaken relationships over time. Prioritizing meaningful experiences creates sustainable success because strong relationships encourage continued collaboration. Long-term thinking supports stability and growth. Another insight presented in this chapter is that hospitality strengthens resilience. Positive relationships provide support during challenges. When individuals build trust consistently, others are more willing to offer assistance when difficulties arise. Strong networks contribute to stability and confidence. The chapter also highlights the importance of authenticity. Genuine care creates stronger connection than artificial gestures. People recognize sincerity and respond positively to honesty. Authentic hospitality reflects true intention to create meaningful experiences. Guidara emphasizes that unreasonable hospitality encourages individuals to think creatively about how they can improve the lives of others. Creative thinking allows individuals to identify opportunities to provide encouragement, support, or solutions. Creativity strengthens the ability to adapt to different situations. Another important lesson discussed in this chapter is that hospitality creates ripple effects. Positive experiences often inspire others to act similarly. Kindness encourages kindness. Generosity encourages generosity. These ripple effects contribute to positive communities and environments. The chapter also explains that hospitality builds confidence. Individuals who develop strong communication and relationship skills often feel more comfortable in social and professional environments. Confidence improves performance and encourages initiative. Will Guidara highlights that hospitality encourages continuous growth. Learning from experiences helps individuals refine their ability to serve others effectively. Growth mindset supports improvement and innovation. Individuals who seek improvement often achieve higher levels of success. Another insight explored in this chapter is that meaningful experiences create emotional memory. Emotional memories influence decisions more strongly than factual information. When individuals associate positive feelings with interactions, they develop stronger loyalty. Emotional connection contributes to lasting relationships. The chapter emphasizes that hospitality is ultimately about respect. Respect involves recognizing the value of others and treating them thoughtfully. Respect strengthens trust and cooperation. Trust supports successful relationships in both personal and professional contexts. Guidara explains that unreasonable hospitality encourages individuals to focus on contribution rather than recognition. True generosity seeks to improve experiences for others without expecting reward. Contribution creates lasting impact because it prioritizes meaningful connection. Another key lesson presented in this chapter is that hospitality helps individuals create legacy. The way people treat others influences how they are remembered. Positive impact extends beyond immediate results and contributes to long-term reputation. The chapter concludes by reinforcing the central message of unreasonable hospitality. Giving more than expected creates extraordinary results. By consistently demonstrating empathy, creativity, discipline, and generosity, individuals create experiences that inspire trust and loyalty. Hospitality transforms ordinary interactions into meaningful connections that positively influence both individuals and organizations. Chapter 5 completes the journey by showing that unreasonable hospitality is not limited to specific industries. It is a universal principle that improves communication, leadership, teamwork, and personal fulfillment. When individuals choose to care deeply about how others feel, they create opportunities to make lasting impact. The lessons throughout the book encourage readers to view every interaction as an opportunity to demonstrate generosity and respect. Whether working with customers, colleagues, classmates, or family members, choosing to give more than expected strengthens relationships and creates memorable experiences. By practicing unreasonable hospitality consistently, individuals develop habits that contribute to long-term success and meaningful connection. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you did, welcome to our book family.